Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We have a great webinar on building a successful niche directory. I'm really excited about this webinar today. I'm James. I'm the founder of the company. With us today, we have Emerson and Gabriel from our marketing department. Hi, guys.
Hello, James. How are you?
Great.
Hello, James. Hello, everybody.
Great. And before we get started, just some logistics. We will be recording this webinar and posting a copy of it to our blog on eDirectory.com within 24 hours, usually by tomorrow morning. It's up, it's in the blog section. So if you just go down to the footer of the site and you'll see blog, you'll see a copy of the webinar posted tomorrow. And then the next thing is if anybody has any questions or comments during the webinar, you can just post them right into the chat and we will stop periodically to answer questions, as well as at the end of the webinar, we'll have more time to answer anything about this topic or anything else you want to ask really for that. And also come back for next events. We have a couple more webinars coming up, online directory business model, sort of a basic 101 on running the business model in 2 weeks on May 29th. On June 12th, we have how to pitch your online directory. That should be a good webinar. And on June 26th, we're going to talk about the mobile apps, the native mobile apps for eDirectory. And then one more comment is at the end of this webinar, we will have a survey where you can give us a rating on the webinar and give us some feedback. So if you can, please fill that out. Just we're trying to make these better every time we do them. So thanks a lot. And very, very quickly for anybody new here, just a background on the eDirectory platform. It is a platform to build directory style websites and apps. And it fits any industry or purpose. It's used for all sorts of things from local search guides to business directories, event directories, real estate directories, all sorts of things. Any type of online guide is a great fit for it, any type of listing site. The platform is SEO optimized. We spent a lot of time trying to get the SEO right in the code, et cetera, for it. So we put a lot of work into that. So it drives good traffic. We do have integrated native mobile apps that you could submit with your own branding into your own App Store account for iPhone and Android. It's a great feature, connects to the data live, so it's automatically updated whenever you update a listing. It's highly customizable, both with a web interface to drag around widgets and configure the site and configure the colors and fonts and all that sort of stuff. But also we do have source code available if you want to integrate it with other systems, legacy systems, whatever else, certainly available. To learn more, just go to eDirectory.com and you can request a live demo with an account exec who can talk more about how it might be able to fit your specific needs. So today we're going to talk about building an online a niche directory. So this is a great topic, actually, very important to think about when you're building out a directory site. So the first thing, whenever you're thinking about your business and what you're doing, is what is the goal? What are you trying to do? And for an online directory in general, basically the core goal is you're trying to help users make purchase decisions. That's it. That's it at the end of the day. Whatever it is, whatever people are viewing in terms of that guide with all the different listings, your goal is to help them make purchase decisions and everything that goes into that. And so all of the data and the content you're preparing, you need to think about that when you're preparing all that and make sure that what you're doing is doing a really good job at that. If you do a really good job at helping people make purchase decisions in your area, the site and probably the business model are going to be successful for that. And the internet is just a big place. Content is everywhere. And so in terms of making that purchase decision, one of the challenging things is actually cutting through all the different information, like all of this data and all of this content might be in a whole bunch of different places. And so what you're doing is bringing all that stuff together in a format that people can read and easily digest and get through, to help them make those purchase decisions. And so one of the big ideas in terms of cutting through that and making sure that your site is successful is thinking about your competitive advantage. And one of the big things is just helping people cut through the clutter. And so that's what you do with building a niche directory. So, you know, you want your website to be all these great, wonderful things here, from being usable, desirable, valuable, accessible, findable, credible. Finding every little piece of information that people need about the listing is enormously important. But also what it is not distracting them with everything else. And so this idea of building a niche directory, it often comes down to curation. And so, yeah, the definition of curation is, you know, the action or process of selecting, organizing, and looking after items in a collection or exhibition. So curation is basically cutting out the things that people don't want to see. You know, when you search Google, you often get 10 billion results. And, you know, for your directory to be successful, you don't want 10 billion results that most of them aren't relevant for them either, because they're in a different geographic area, they're slightly outside the category or whatever it is. You really want to show just the results that are curated for them. And the curation goes beyond just having listings or not, but often it goes with the style of the audience. So depending on who your audience is, think about your audience and making sure that the content is relevant and presented in a way, curate that content where they're going to like it and it's going to be good. It's going to be good for them. So to separate yourself at the end of the day, one of the best ideas for directories is to go niche in terms of building out your directories. So niche platforms become valuable as they provide deeper insights and focus areas that the larger but broader news organizations, is this quote, but organizations in general are likely to miss. So Google may have everything, but what you have is really great data on this one very, very specific thing. And so typically the way that is sliced up is either by category, where you pick a category or a couple categories and do that, or a geographic area, and say you focus on a certain area. You know, if you're doing, say, you know, a directory around weddings, you might pick, hey, we're doing weddings in Orlando or wherever, as far as that goes, for that. So those two areas, and if you combine those two, category with the geography, you can get down really, really thin. This is the key to making really great content for people, is getting those two things and putting those together in a niche that people can really get some great information. So in terms of if you're building a new site, or you have sort of a bigger idea of what you're going to do, which segment do you want to choose? And so there are a lot of factors into that. So for instance, say you're thinking, oh, I'm thinking about doing something for the legal industry. I'm going to build a directory for the legal industry. What you can do there's a whole bunch of different things within there. You know, there's tax lawyers, divorce lawyers, immigration lawyers, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're wondering, hey, maybe I could do all of law, that may be too big. And so you may find more success in really driving traffic and driving search results out of a much smaller area. But then the question is, which one do you choose? And what I'd recommend there actually is you look at the value of those different areas, and then that with how competitive it is. So some of those areas might be very valuable, but they're also super, super competitive in terms of there's already a bunch of great information out there on the internet for those geographic areas, et cetera. So if you can identify that gap where there's a lot of value in the segment, and then it's sort of underserved and that it isn't super competitive, that's a great combination with them. And how do you do that? And so one of the things you can do is look at some tools like Google Trends or Google AdWords tools. And they'll show you what kind of traffic is on different keywords. And then from that, you can get an estimate of what might be very, very valuable and what might be somewhat underserved as far as those two go together. Also, if you are located in a certain geographic area, some areas just naturally tend to be very good at certain things or other things. So like the example I have here is Miami. Like, okay, if we're doing a site for Miami, the boat business may be a great area because there's a lot of money spent on that, and also it's very good for Miami specifically. Whereas if you're in Cleveland, they have some boats there, but not the same kind of level as Miami. Obviously, it's cold part of the year, et cetera. So that might not be Cleveland. Maybe something different there entirely. So think about that in terms of what's a good fit for that in terms of deciding what to do, and you can choose. And then the other thing I want to mention is that you can always, after you really nail one niche, you can expand and bring it out and go wider, either in terms of more geographic areas or a broader category, as far as that goes. And so just a couple examples of different things. In terms of local search, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do New York restaurants, even if the grand plan or even if your site is all about New York restaurants, you may want to start with certain segments of that. And so an example might be sushi in New York. You do everything related to sushi, and even within sushi, there's different segments of that. You could even do like different segment, there's different types of sushi, et cetera, and then go even lower than that if there's a whole bunch of stuff. But the New York restaurant thing, your site may be about New York restaurants, but if you go really deep into the individual data for those individual areas, that can be very helpful in terms of getting the search traffic in for that. And then maybe you go to the next one after that and the next one after that. For B2B, if you have something like welding, you may want to go niche and go down into like, okay, welding for the oil industry, tools, equipment, service providers, et cetera, for that. And then in terms of wedding, instead of just doing general weddings with everything, you may just focus on wedding venues or some other topic area as far as that goes. And then as far as making this happen with eDirectory, eDirectory is set up for you to be able to customize the different listing templates and really make them good at hitting that niche and making sure everything is filled out and organized according to that. And also one idea is setting up custom pages for categories and locations. And so you have obviously your search results and all of that, but I'm talking about you going in and creating a full custom page and then building out content around some of that area and then linking into different search results from that custom page. And then other content ideas are making things such as top 10 lists or best of lists and posting them up as blog or news entries, article entries. Editors reviews are another great feature, posting those maybe as full articles. And one other thing people often do is what's new, because the data is always changing, et cetera. And so you put in what's new in June 2024 and put up an article of new listings within that segment and those kind of things. So let me just see if we had any questions come in real quick, and then actually I'll turn it over to Emerson, and he's going to just show in the back end a little bit how to do that. Are there any questions I should pick up now, or should we wait till the end here, Emerson?
I believe there is at least one for the apps. I'm not sure if you want to answer right now.
Okay, great. I'll take a look through these. Yeah, let me answer these at the end, I guess. And if you want to do the quick demo, show people quickly how to configure maybe a listing and set up maybe a custom page so that they can really go for it.
Yeah, sure. Let me
Yeah.
share my screen just a second.
And so what you want to do is like when you're creating your listing template is creating the template so that it really works really well instead of for just a general business, for the type of business or the type of listing for that niche that you're covering. So if it's like sushi restaurant, maybe you have fields for types of fish served or those type of things instead of just like sushi, instead of just like general restaurant fields for that. And so Emerson's going to show you that. Okay, Emerson.
Okay, thank you, James. So this is our test website or demo website for the marketing team. So first thing is I'm going to go to my admin dashboards. I'm already logged in. I'm going to show you how to create custom fields for the listing templates. We have a question about this topic, so I guess we'll answer that. We can create different listing templates for the different listing categories we have on the website. That's not mandatory, but that's what helps to create a specific content for specific categories, even for subcategories, for example. So here on the dashboard, I went to the content menu, listings, and then I will go to listing templates. So here we have the dashboard. We can add another listing template here, but I have several already. So I'm going to show you a few ones I have. I will pick up this one as the example. Let me edit it. So let's start from the beginning. It's very important to give a very clear, short, and direct name for the template, because this is what your potential sponsors will see, so it will help them to pick up the right templates. And you can choose to which category this template will be applied to. If you leave it blank, it will be available to all categories, so it's important to select the category you want this template to be available, so it will help people to fill in the listing form more properly. Then you can select a summary view. We have 11 options, so it's all about the design. There are different content inside each one of these summary cards. Just pick one that you like the most, so you can have different. This summary review will be displayed on the results page. So you can have a mix of these cards, the summary cards on the results page. That can also help your users to identify the different categories and content on your website based on this design. So it's up to you to select which one you like the most. For the listen template editor, then you can select different types of headers. We have headers with image gallery. It's one with a static one, with centralized logo. There are a bunch of different options here to select. So the most important about the list template editor today is to create the custom fields. This is the listen template editor. You can create tabs to divide the contents in a different way. You can have one tab just for photos, for example, and then you can add the widgets as you want here. We have the sidebar, the main body of the page. You can put the reviews here and banner, whatever you want. So for the main page, let's create one. This checklist, for example, it's a custom field. It's one type of the custom fields we have. You can create what needs to be created to satisfy your users, your site visitors. So to stand out from the crowd, yes, James?
Yeah, Emerson, I just wanted to mention that these custom fields are key to this webinar topic in terms of building the niche directory. You want to create custom fields for that specific industry that are very, very relevant. So this is like a restaurant, and so it has credit cards accepted. That field may not be relevant to some other types of listings. So think about your listing and create these fields for the niche directories. This is the key point we're trying to bring across here.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about custom fields and the specific industry, we have this general directory for Miami, for example. But for restaurants, we can create different categories and subcategories, and one listing can be associated up to 20 subcategories, a main category and subcategories. So it's a part of the content you have to create. So it will help people to find what they want to. But here inside the custom fields, you can create the different types of cuisines as well. So if you're having a more simple category 3, you can use the custom fields to talk about the cuisine types, if they have delivery service, if they have reservation.
Gluten-free,
Uh,
all sorts of things you can possibly think of there. And then we had
yeah,
a question about the marketplace widget. Somebody asked what that was. And so there's a widget that we have where you can essentially set up little products for sale or links to call to action so that people can do things like place it for a restaurant, maybe place an order, those kind of things in a little marketplace. That's kind of an important widget for this as well.
yeah, this is
That's it,
the
yeah, the
one, the
products and
products
services.
and service widget. So it's very simple to configure this. You just have to put the label for the entry form, the display label on the front end of the page, and the label of the button. So it's very simple. You
Are you
can
able to
then,
toggle, are you able to toggle quickly to the front and show them what that looks like on a real listing?
yeah, sure. So let me
Oh,
just
let's do
scroll
that.
back this a little bit so we can see it.
And I know there's a lot of different options and a lot of things in here for everybody. So if you need to get some more information, we have you can schedule a meeting with an account exec that can show you the system. Or if you already have an account with us, our support team can help you out with whatever you need. They're on live chat. You can also schedule a time to do a call with them if needed as well.
Okay, so here we have the header with gallery. This one is a top level listing, so it's we do not display banners on this. Is a setting that you can copy as well. It's available. So each of these block is the about. We have this custom field here, which is a description field with HTML editor that you can embed external scripts like this one from OpenTable. It's an external service. So it's a differentiator on your directory, on your listing detail pages. The one I just showed you is about credit card accepted. So this potential, this is sponsor, just select that they accept Visa and Amex, but there are 3 options available. The highlight of the week is an additional image, which is a custom field as well. You can create different ones. You can create for this one like our team, the chefs they have on the restaurant. You can select just a specific picture for that. The button is another custom field that you can create, this call to action button that will link to a different an external service as well. And this is the marketplace widget, the products and services widget that creates this digital stall on your listing detail page. You can have up to 5 images with description. Let me show you one here. I have just one image here set, but you can have up to 5 images here with the
For each
price,
product.
the
Yeah.
description, and the external button that will go to another website, to the reservation, or to a checkout or a delivery service. So it's very simple to use that.
Okay, great.
Okay, so
Fantastic.
this is
And
how
then
you're
I
going
think
to create.
the
Let me
last thing
just
I was
show you
wondering,
quick. Yep,
I
go
was
ahead.
wondering if you could show just quickly how to create a custom page in general, so people can do things or an article, to do a top 10 list or some information around a specific niche or category, those kind of things.
Okay, sure. Let me just close here. I was showing the types of custom fields people can create, long and short description,
Sure.
checklist, buttons, range, among many others. So to create pages, we go here to the design menu and then page editor. Let me just double check if I have something already created for.
And so this allows you to create just a general page on the website, any type of page, and you can put widgets in to create content there. And then you can link to this page from other places on the website, from other custom pages or from the nav bar or wherever else, just like any type of content management system. So very easy to do.
Okay, I have one here that I believe it will fit the sample. It's restaurants in Miami. Let me edit this page. When you are creating pages, you have the SEO options here for description and keywords. So it's very important to filling these parts, you can select the URL, so it all matches the SEO and it'll be helpful for people to find what they want. You can create the search box, just hit the plus icon to add widgets. So let me add one. Let's create one. I will recreate one here.
We're
Let's
going to
put
answer
this
all
one.
the, yeah, while he's doing that, we're going to answer
Yeah.
all the questions at the end, but we had a couple that came in that I just wanted to mention. So the way this works with the listing templates is you create a template, and then the listing owner, the sponsor, can actually go in and add the listing themselves using the fields that you configured with that template. Or you could do it yourself, or you could import the data as well. So those are the three ways to add the data. But once you create the template, then people can go in and add the information for that template. So I hope that clears it up as far as that goes. And then as far as the online ordering, the actual order processing and all that is done by some other service. And what we do is just provide a call to action, which is a link that they go in and fill in, and then it'll go into their external system for that.
Okay, so I'm adding these widgets. So I'm customizing it. Let me customize it. You can pick items individually. So if you want to highlight one or two or a few of your best advertisers, you can do that by choosing them individually on this widget, or you can just customize the rules and have random content displayed on your website. Let me pick up all the levels here so I will have content for sure. Let me put on the highest rated, then by level, category, restaurants, because it's restaurants in Miami. I won't select the location, but we can put right the category and location, so I can select United States, Florida, Miami. I can even select the neighborhood, but I'm not sure if I have neighborhood selected on my website, so I will leave it blank so we'll have the idea of how it's going to work. The background, and I won't display banner ads here. So let me save the changes. I just created this one, featured restaurants. Save the changes. And let's do the page. Okay, this one I just created. I had already set this one restaurant with options in Miami based on the location and the category. And the content that James mentioned, the editor's choice, that we can handpick some restaurants to be displayed here. If you want to do by category, Italian restaurants, not just random restaurants, we can select and create differentiators on the page. So if you're looking for sushi or for Italian or for Asian cuisine, you can highlight some of your best advertisers here. Mexican, Japanese, and so on. Then we can put some testimonials, you can put videos, you can put the events on that week. So that helps people to discover content and navigate on our website. And the content that James mentioned about having this highly niche targeted directory. So things to do, places to go, where they accept pets, for example. So
yeah, in addition to that, Emerson, typically if you were creating a page, you would also put in some text that you would write, or we have a chat GPT integration. You can do that and use that to help you write some content for these pages as well when you're doing that. So instead of just only displaying listings, often you have an introduction and some other information along those lines with it. So great. Fantastic. So we have quite a few questions here. I'm just going to jump in, and if anybody has any more, just drop them right into the chat and we'll answer them as they come. So first question, in general, are your webinars scheduled every other week? Yes, we do webinar Wednesday every other week. So you can see the schedule on eDirectory.com on the footer and sign up for those. Next question. My intent is to launch an app directory. Please talk about app capabilities and what cannot be done compared to the web version. Yeah, so we have native mobile apps that you can put in your own App Store account with your own brand that match the website, etc. They're somewhat similar to the web version. The interface is a little bit better for doing like local stuff, like if you're walking around, you know, because the GPS and all of that. I think nearly all the features in eDirectory are on the mobile app. So it's if you're searching on the app or searching on the website, the data is updated real time and you can do all that. The one thing the app doesn't have because of App Store guidelines is the ability for sponsors to check out and manage their listing. They need to do that via web. But all the other stuff, you can configure listings and do all that with the apps as well. So the apps work great with eDirectory, and it's a great option if you want to have a mobile app. And one of the best things about the app is you get your logo on the phone home screen, which is like the best billboard in the whole world. You know, people look at their phone all the time. So yeah, check out the apps. And we have a demo of the app available. If you want to reach out to an account exec, they can show you that, how the apps work and answer any more questions. Let's see. Next question from Karen. Is there a limit on requesting demos? No, I don't think so. I think you reach out, we'll give you a demo. I'm not sure how many you want, but happy to help you with a demo anytime. Next question from Leonella. Do you have services or functionality to help obtain content to populate a niche directory? We have some resources available on our website if you go. I think we have a couple articles available as far as finding data. There's a number of data vendors out there where you could purchase data by location, category, et cetera as well. There's some data scraping tools and services out there as well. You can reach out to our support team. We may be able to give you tips on how to do that. But a lot of the information you can figure out a good plan on doing that is out there. And we have a webinar on that as well that you may want to check out. Let's see. Next question. So we can have more than one listing template. Yes, absolutely. So you can do listing templates, sort of like one general default one, and then specific ones for specific categories or groups of categories. You can bind templates to groups of categories as well. Things like maybe like business or individual provider, those kind of things, and set up different templates for them. So hopefully we answered that. I'm not sure I'm clear on custom pages for categories. Oh, what I mentioned there. That's just about creating some more content around the categories, basically for SEO. And so you can create depending on your key categories, maybe not every category, but actually creating a custom page that links into different category searches or shows some results on those. Also, the category search pages, they have a way to put custom content on those. Basically, what I wanted to recommend is that you make sure if somebody is browsing through, looking at a category, looking at things on the site, that you're really well represented from a search engine's view, so you have content on there written around those categories for that. And there's a lot of ways to do that with eDirectory. Next question from Will. How is the blog feature used by visitors? So basically you create a blog and create blog entries, and then the visitors would read those blog entries, sort of like an article, right? This isn't you're not hosting blogs for visitors or anything like that. It's really about your site has a blog. Your site can also have articles, which may be different than a blog. The layout on blog is slightly different than an article for that. But yeah, it's not for individual users to start their own blog necessarily. And for that, what is the marketplace widget? I think we showed that pretty well after this question came in, but basically allows you to sell products and or listing sponsors to show and offer products and services with call to action buttons that allow them to go to purchase or order or schedule or whatever from a third-party system. Next question from Vanessa. If I change summary view after The business is already listed. Will all the information migrate? Yeah, so basically the way that it works is there's a database and then a view on top of the data. And so when you change those widgets, the view changes. It doesn't necessarily delete the data for those. The data just won't be displayed for that, right? That's correct, right, Emerson?
Yes, the summary view just picks from the standard fields, not just from the custom fields. So you can change summary views at any time and you won't lose any data because it comes from the standard fields, not from the custom fields. So if you create or delete a custom fields, then you can have some data loss, but not on the summary view.
Great. Next question from Karen. Can templates be created from scratch instead of selecting options already created by eDirectory? Yes, absolutely. You can create your own template from scratch there. Also, you can customize the ones that are preloaded into the system as well, and you can delete the ones that are preloaded into the system as well, whatever sort of fits your needs there. Next question from Will. Will eDirectory find Miami area businesses based on zip codes? Yes, so there is the location search feature does work with zip codes as well. Absolutely. Next comment from Will, the Miami pages look amazing. Yeah, the demo, the Miami demo is just a different sort of theme, customized without any code customization, just sort of a normal eDirectory layout. So that's great. Thanks for the compliment there. Question from Ronald, is order online available on the app directory? So the buttons will be displayed, but then when they click on it on the app, it'll lead them maybe to somewhere to a third-party system as far as that goes for the marketplace stuff. Next question from Hanan. We want to tightly integrate a third-party customer loyalty app like boomerangme.biz. Have you done this before? Yes, we have done a number of customizations. We have a customization team that can do code development and stuff. Some of this you don't even need to do code customization. You can paste in snippets, etc., through the custom content widgets for that in terms of integrating in a loyalty app. I'm not personally familiar with this one. But if you want to reach out, we can see what's involved. When you say a tight integration, that maybe there needs to be some code customized or something along those lines for a tight integration. But yeah, absolutely, we can do that. And if you get the own license, your own team can have access to the code and do that as well for that. Next question from Vanessa. Will this food example, once the widget is set, does the client add their own images or is that done by me? Yeah, so the sponsor has access to upload their own content, add their own images, add their own videos, everything in the template the sponsor can add. Also, you can add it as well yourself if you want to do that. So it is available for the sponsor to edit their own stuff, and there is a moderation option where if they edit it, you can approve it before it goes live. Next question, is there a recording of this webinar available? Yes, absolutely. It'll be posted within 24 hours. And if you go to eDirectory.com, the blog on our footer on eDirectory.com has a link to our blog and it's posted up on the blog within 24 hours. Next questions. Do you have any plans to assign a dedicated support person for each account? I don't mean a sales rep. I'd like to hire an expert if there is one offered. Actually, we have a setup service, which is basically this, where you have somebody that helps assist with the setup. So that is an option. We can send you more info about this. If you can note that, Emerson, to send Nancy some info about a setup service. But essentially, it is somebody that can do support for you, but also there's a package that we help you get off the ground, get data imported, things organized, categories set, all that kind of stuff for that. And I think that may be sort of what you're looking for. It's a pretty good service. People have been pretty happy with it, I think, overall. Next question from Luis. Where do I find the marketplace widget? When you're in editing the listing, there's an option on there. You'll see it called product and services. I think that's the confusion here. It's called product and services widget. We should probably change that name in that template, Emerson, from marketplace to products and services. I think at one place we called it the marketplace widget, and then that was causing some confusion. So we changed it to products and services, and we probably need to change that everywhere. Will you share more about the Chat GPT integration? Yes, I don't know. Does our demo have that integration configured? Basically, the way the Chat GPT integration works is you get your Chat GPT key from their website. You do need a paid plan for the API to work with them, but it's typically a very nominal cost because they only charge per request or whatever. You put that key into the site manager, and then a number of fields will be available where you can use Chat GPT for tasks like editing listings and putting in content. It'll help you write them, and then you can edit the output there, and it really helps you do a lot more work. It's a great tool actually for that. Next question, can users blog on the eDirectory mobile app? The blog is for your site, but yes, it is displayed on the mobile app. So that is available. Next question from Vanessa. If after launching the directory and I wish to change the template for a category and the information is already uploaded by the client, will it migrate assuming all the fields available match? Yes, if you make changes there, the underlying data structure stays the same, just the view on it changes. And so typically the data would still be there if you move things around with that. Right? Is that correct, Emerson? I believe that's the case as far as that goes.
Yeah, for the standard fields, yes, because if you create a custom field for the lawyer template, this custom field will be just for that category, not related to one specific listing and the sponsor. If you're going to move one from one template to another, then the fields won't match because you have this data loss. But be careful about it.
Yep. Okay, great. Next question. Can I schedule a call with support to review what I have created to see what I may be missing or what I can improve? Yeah, I think you can just get in. And you can reach out to our support team, and I'm sure our support's pretty good, so I'm sure they'll be happy to speak with you. Next question from Terry. I'd love some feedback on what I've done before I done with the setup service. I just want to make sure it's optimized before I hit publish. I'm sure, yeah, just reach out. Next question. From Hanan, much like what you did with Find a Table third-party app, we are not committed to the Boomerang loyalty apps. If you can recommend one, that would be great. I don't know if I have any loyalty apps offhand, but typically if you find one you like, there's a custom content field that you can post in the snippet, and that typically works pretty well. Oh, a comment on our setup service from Terry. Thanks, Terry. The setup service is incredible. Joao's outstanding, gold star service. Really appreciate the feedback there, positive or negative. Absolutely, we love to get the feedback. So thanks, guys, for that. Next question. Are there any upcoming sales packages available? We'll reach out to you, Ronald, and see what you're looking for and see what we can do. Occasionally we have some sales and stuff. We'll see what we can do for you. We try to take care, especially of people that join our webinars. We appreciate it. Do you have a marketplace app you recommend that is similar to this? Like a full marketplace? I don't know if I know a good one that I can just recommend. I think you're probably gonna have to go to Google and do some research on that. Next question from Matthew. Would appreciate a link to learn more about the setup service, as I mentioned as well. Are you able to post one of those right in the chat here, maybe Gabriel, the setup service? Next question, how can we set up regions so I can have a site with a few different areas that has a bit of a localized feel, like a 5-state region? We have a plugin, geolocation plugin Also, there are configurations in the site manager to do geographic areas where you can configure the different levels and that sort of thing, and do a region like a metro area or those kind of things as well. Why don't we make a note to reach out to Sam? If you could just make a note, and we'll just reach out to you and send you some info on that.
Okay.
Great. Next question. Kelly would like a link to the setup service as well, if you can note that, Emerson. Next question from Leonella. Is the eDirectory screen share demo the appropriate type of call to initiate a discussion about services and needs? Yes, absolutely. Just schedule a demo there, and probably Daniel Storm will reach out, and he'll be able to talk to you, and get him on the phone, and you can tell him what you're doing. And he's pretty good. He's been with us, I think, 8-9 years now, and he's done a lot of these sites, so he has some great advice for you, typically. Well, great. So thanks everybody for all the questions. Last call for questions. If you have any more, post them in there. Wanted to remind you again, sign up for the next coming webinars in 2 weeks. And also, after we close down here, there will be a survey form. So if you can give us some feedback, we'd appreciate that. So thanks a lot.
James,
Yeah, go ahead, Emerson.
one last comment that when we asked if visitors can start their own blogs, they can't, but they can use the articles module. So visitors can become sponsors writing articles. The articles can even be free, so people can write on your website. User-generated content is very good. For volume, for quality, etc. You can curate that. So the article modules can be used by visitors. They can become sponsors, etc. You can bundle that on another strategy. So blog is exclusive for the site owner, but articles can be monetized for advertisers, etc.
Okay, great. And just a last reminder, if you have any more questions or need anything else, don't hesitate to reach out. Just go to eDirectory.com and you can fill out a request there, and we'll be in touch, okay? Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.